how's it going?
Yeah.
As I met with silence.
What's up, guys?
Howdy.
I'm gonna call it episode 13.
Yeah, so
because episode 12 was
episode infinity.
Because we were black bagged by China for episode 12 because we mentioned it and then
that was my fault.
Yeah, we blame Brendan.
I'm not going to show my lashes live.
China in our last episode, and
that's where we had the quote unquote audio failures.
I love you, Xi Jinping.
We also figured out the John Benet Ramsey case. Who did that? It was also China, which was weird.
What?
We're just saying a lot of red flag things, and now I'm actually worried that we're gonna have
every time we say the C word, I feel like it's just not good.
Digging a hole deeper.
Caring.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for stopping by on our magical journey into whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
There's quite a lot of things that are whatever the fuck we want to talk about today, so
yeah,
some fun.
But first off, happy Thanksgiving, since this is going to be our Thanksgiving episode, I guess. We haven't really planned anything for it.
It's been 10 years since we killed that giant turkey.
And one thing about Thanksgiving,
mashed potatoes.
And one thing about Thanksgiving is we want to thank all of you guys that have been tuning in every week or so.
Thank you.
We want to thank all of you for being there for us
and listening in
through the hard time.
We have a few thanks for us to deliver. First and foremost, as you probably noticed, we have a new intro. That is courtesy of someone we kind of contracted, I guess we could say that.
He
contacted us and wanted to do some work. His name is Noah Swiderski. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Swiderski. But thank you for all your work. It's awesome. So there's a shout out for that.
You have been shouted out.
We all also listen to it.
Yeah, it's great.
I might contact you soon because I want my own Wild West theme
for Mungi's Ranger.
For the love of fuck, Ranger Mungi's classic Cowboy Corral review of insert game here.
That's
normally Red Dead Redemption 2. You know what? It's too much, but I don't care.
Usually it's Red Dead 2.
You know why?
It's mostly Red
because
Dead
I'm a cowboy.
I'm a steel horse you ride.
Oh, you just stole the words out of my mouth.
So another thanks for those who have donated so far for our GoFundMe. We have, from this point that we're recording, we have 1 week left in our donation campaign. So like I said prior podcasts, any sort of help that you want to give us, we are greatly appreciated if you even share it or whatever. But if you don't have any money to give us, it's completely fine. We
just spread the word if you can.
Exactly.
Yeah, goes to a good cause. Philadelphia has a really bad hunger crisis right now. They've had a bad hunger crisis for a while.
Especially since Code Blues are coming up. That's when it's too cold and emergency shelters pop up more. But
and Phil Abundance helps out a lot with that. So
you have been shouted out.
We appreciate all your help. So and one final thing, we are at 194 likes on Facebook.
Boy. We're getting really close.
Yeah, we're getting close to 200.
Really close, guys.
I'm really mad.
Tell your friends.
I'm really mad though. My biggest complaint is I missed 69 likes. Can we just go back?
I think we hit 69 likes within the first month or so.
You need to unlearn likes about 69 weeks ago.
No, just kidding.
Nice.
Dab.
Just kidding.
Hey, you still have 420 to look forward to.
Yeah, we have.
So speaking of dabbing, do you want to talk about Disney Plus?
Well, first I wanted to say that with 200 likes, we definitely are going to do something special for you guys. It's kind of up in the air what we're going to do yet, but and on top of that, our 1 year anniversary will be coming up in January, so it's kind of a double dab.
It's been rocky, but we made this relationship work.
Yeah.
For our 1 year.
Happy 1 year, I'll get you flowers.
Brendan had his crack phase. We got him through that.
Well, technically,
it was
his
coke.
butt crack.
It was coke. Oh yeah,
I'm sorry. It was a
classier drug.
Well, I was gonna make the joke. It's like, he had a crack problem. His crack kept showing on camera. But no, you just had to make the fucking drug puns more.
Drugs.
Remember that guy who got banned from Magic the Gathering tournaments because he was taking these photos where he's like squatting.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's great.
He got allowed back into tournaments.
Slim Jim rapper.
I was eating Slim Jim. Slim Jims, and then Sisto literally just pulled it out on camera. Yes.
Exposed.
God.
Product placement. Thanks, Slim Jim.
Oh boy.
The
Snap yourself into a Slim Jim.
Just unwarranted, just reached in there.
The official beef jerky of the Choose a Character podcast.
It's actually a meat stick.
Meat stick.
Slim Jim, if you do sponsor us, we will hype up.
Show you a meat stick.
If Slim Jim sponsors us, I'd be shocked. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Ideal first sponsor.
You have been shouted out.
Yeah, so I think that's, and one more thing, probably a big change here. We're in a different location.
Just for this.
Really?
For this episode, we're doing a.
Oh my God.
The Empire found our first position. So.
Yeah, we're hiding out from China right now, so.
The place I'm crashing at.
We're at an undisclosed location.
It's unlisted by Chinese agents.
Yeah, we're off the grid. Anyway.
What are we living in 1984?
Brandon's giving a suspicious look. Have you been leaking it?
He was in China. He might have been
I'll never tell. Now why?
Xi and Brendan over here.
Stand by for episode 20 when Brendan reveals himself as a
Brendan,
Chinese double agent.
I can't wait for 200 likes. It's gonna be a big surprise.
So Brendan, when you were in China, did you ever go for a flu shot and wake up 12 hours later with a pain in the back of your neck?
No, but they do have a lot of my blood.
All right,
Okay.
we're just gonna leave you at that. Yeah, so since we were gone, Disney Plus launched with The Mandalorian.
Finally.
So, a lot of problems out of the gate.
Really?
I mean, the service crashed and stuff, but that was day one stuff that I was expecting.
I was gonna say.
I also got to see the Hulk dab at 4K.
The Hulk dab and
Remember he goes to the kids and he's just like,
oh yeah, he does
Yeah,
that.
no, he's just like,
Endgame.
She's great.
dab.
It's nice to know that Dab's still kicking like 4 years
Absolute
from now.
rough little moment.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so the big thing probably for us is The Mandalorian, which is great. I know
False.
we've
Jeff
all.
Goldblum shows the world.
Have you guys seen episode 3? I know Brendan hasn't.
I haven't had the chance.
Why?
Okay, well
Came out
we can
last
talk
night.
up to at least episode 2 because since we're recording this the day after episode 3 was released, so we won't spoil it for some people that are a little slow.
Baby Yoda is literally
The
the
one
meme
time
of the year in November.
The one time I'm actually up to par with something. We can't even talk about it.
Well, we can talk up to episode 2 because a lot of stuff has happened.
Well, episode 2 is boring.
I have spoken.
I
thought it was
loved
Yeah.
episode 2.
There was only one.
I love seeing those Jawas get destroyed.
Yeah.
How can you say
that was
episode
cool.
2 was boring as it gave the fan satisfaction of evaporating Jawas?
I
Yeah,
really
Baby
didn't care. But
I
okay.
really am satisfied by Jawas dying. I'll be frank.
Yeah, so
Also,
far,
the whole scene of him on the sandcrawler.
He's so sad.
I mean, they were all good episodes. It's just a little boring.
well, so far I thought the first episode was a little slow, which was it's
thought it was funny.
establishing everything.
The last 3 episodes have been. It is a very slow-paced show.
Yeah, and that's understandable. It's the first season of if
Yeah.
I can see them renewing it. It's immediately
popular. It's
popular.
Plus, they got Apollo Creed.
And yeah, that's not Lando.
No, it's Carl Weathers.
I know, I'm joking.
Not Billy Dee.
There are so many people.
I
and it's
thought
just-
it was Lando for the first second because they look so much alike.
I'm just gonna say
The two
this. It's
most-
a mildly racist assumption
Yeah,
to
that's
assume
No,
that
it's
the
not.
only black guy in the galaxy,
not.
there can't be another one that's
No, it's
Carl
not.
Weathers.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
No,
is.
they're two icons of the 80s.
Yes, but this.
They looked alike back then. They still look alike now.
No, they
It's not
don't.
racist.
You
Go
do. Put up.
Works every time.
Mike, I'm going to ask you. During this clip, put up a side-by-side comparison. There is no way they look alike.
Probably more now. Probably they have a similar body type now because they're
Because they're
old.
old, but
people.
then...
But they're not
Are
back
you
then,
kidding
not at all.
me?
Yes, I'm not kidding.
He ain't nearly
Yes,
as
you-
talented as Billy D.
Mark it. I don't
I will.
care.
I will
Billy
Mark
D
it
could
and
still
put
turn
up a
the pants off
side-by-side
you if he
picture.
wanted to.
So we
Go
got Carl
45
Weathers
works
and
every time.
I do like the fan bases that literally can't accept the fact that there's more than one black guy in the galaxy.
well, it's the same with how Princess Leia was the only woman in the galaxy for a while.
Yeah, she really was.
Oh
Until
no,
Mon
there was
Mothma.
Emperor.
There was Bob Mothma.
Mon Mothma. Yeah, that's true. But anyway, so the first episode we got the Mandalorian does not have a name yet other than Mando.
His name is
Yeah.
Man.
The fact that Carl Weathers
DeLorean.
calls him Mando, like I click, like I audibly cringe.
Well, so supposedly at this point it's right after the Empire falls.
Yeah, no, it's this is like immediate Empire remnant.
Yeah. And we still on
Yes,
the
they
Carl
do.
Weathers thing.
No, they don't.
It's a fucking mustache.
No, they don't.
Yes,
Their
they
hair is
do.
completely different.
It doesn't matter.
Billy D's got better hair.
But
I give up with you people.
so the Mandalorian is a bounty hunter, as you could probably guess, and he gets a contract by
Kind of your job when you're a man.
Carlin.
yeah.
From the guild.
He gets a job from the guild or whatever the hell it's called.
It's called the guild.
Continental.
And for a really top secret and high priced, well, not really high profile, but high priced bounty
Who's 50
given to
years old.
yes, that given to him
50.
by a remnant of the
50.
Empire,
Yeah.
some warlord or some. They don't
Yeah.
really.
Yeah,
no one
they're
has
not-
a
they're not
no one
outright
has a
about
dis- no one has a distinctive name really in the
He
show.
was probably an Empire senator.
Yeah,
He
or
does
was
look like-
Imperial Man.
It could have been governor. You know,
Could
no,
be-
because you
yeah.
know how
Yeah.
Force Stark is that the Senate has fallen and regional governors have taken over.
Yeah,
it could have
yeah.
been a regional governor.
Yeah.
Because
or some sort of
Burn a hot
admiral or
sock.
general or
what also
whatever.
pisses me off that there's
Check your credits.
extended universe is no longer canon. Half the regional governors became warlords and they had to fucking deal with that.
Yeah.
This is kind of what we might be seeing.
Yeah.
But so he goes to get the contact. It's on Tatooine, and he meets a.
What's the Tatooine?
Oh
yeah,
it's
Jawas.
Tatooine.
Yeah.
He meets an alien. I'm drawing a blank. What's his name?
I don't think
He
they-
never
Old
had
man.
Old man that is
The old man alien.
Played by Nick Nolte, right?
Nick Nolte, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
Nick
really?
Nolte
Or-
and,
yeah, it's
and what's
Nick
that
Nolte.
species? They're the ones who are in Cloud City who
Oh,
destroyed
shit.
C-3PO.
Well-
Ugnaught.
Ugnaughts, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I have spoken.
I have spoken. So we get a cameo from a bounty hunter that's been in the series a few times, especially in Clone Wars. Was the droid that's like T something something?
IG-88 is who you're thinking
IG-88.
about.
So
But that
IG-88
wasn't IG-88. That
It
was
wasn't?
just,
No,
Well,
that was just
IG-88
that
is
was
a
just
bounty
random
droid.
assassin droid.
but what?
That was just a random assassin droid.
Yeah, it was just a random thing.
Oh, I thought
Sometimes they do.
It's IG-42, I think, was the one that was in the Mandalorian, but IG-88
There's
is
a
the
weird
famous
there's a
one.
weird thing with the lore because some
It
of
was in
them
the
are
Christmas
just
special.
Sorry,
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No,
Okay.
it's fine.
But
Go.
it's a weird it's a weird thing with the lore because there's programmed assassin droids and then there's those droids that have sentience and are bounty hunters. So it's like a weird line that
Yeah.
they have yet to define because there are just random assassin droids out there.
Well,
and then,
the usual thing in Star Wars was every couple of years you'd wipe your droids so that way you prevent them from gaining sentience, which is really
And that's the
fucked
plot
up in the
device.
long run.
And that's the plot device used in Revenge of the Siths for C-3PO and R2-D2.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because Bail Organa at the end of episode 3. Like,
shout out to Solo.
R2 might not have been.
for the one time they mentioned droid
well,
droids.
I think it was, and Wedge Antilles' dad was the person who had to wipe the droids. So
No,
Yeah.
no, Captain Antilles and Wedge Antilles are not related.
you're kidding.
Mm-mm.
It's funny as
But that's
hell.
no. Fucking damn it! It's non-canon. An expanded universe. Wedge literally says he's just like he has the same last name, but we're not related.
So funny
That's
as
dumb.
thing.
Well, it's extended universe. This is new canon, so I'm sure they're related. New canon.
Maybe
I
not.
hate it. I literally have 10 books upstairs.
I know you do.
No longer canon.
You've
I
said
think
that
I
many
feel-
times.
I've said it many times and it infuriates me every time because I have all this knowledge that can never be
I don't
used.
mind it.
You never know.
So far I kind of like what Disney's doing.
For the most part.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's good.
So it ends up that the package or whatever that he's picking up ends up being, we're not sure yet, a baby. We assume is
Yoda
Yoda.
species.
No, it's not.
Well, it's a Yoda species. That species
It's
of
not
Yoda
Yoda,
is never
so-
named.
It's
It's
actually
not
it's been
Yoda.
confirmed that
No,
it's
he's
not
right
Yoda.
though.
But
It's-
Yoda,
how could it be
Yoda
Yoda?
would have been
Force
on Dagobah right
Yoda's-
now.
But it could be a clone.
It could be a clone, but
My
that's-
money is that it's a clone.
That's still not.
Made by
Is Yoda,
Palpatine.
is
or-
Yoda in
Made by
genetics,
Palpatine.
but not Yoda in.
It also could be. It also
He doesn't
could be.
have the ketamine addiction yet.
Yeah.
Stop
What do
making
you-
the ketamine addiction memes.
There are
There's a
ton of
Yoda
different
meme
memes.
out there that he has a
God.
ketamine addiction. Please stop.
Then he also has
using
a
that.
2003 Honda Civic.
And he needs to pay child support.
I mean, I
All
think
right,
the whole.
all right. Going back. There is a possibility because Yoda, strong in the Force, and Palpatine has done it, and then again, I'm going extended
Well-
universe. He can manifest into another living being.
Who? Are you talking about the Sith or the Jedi? Because the Jedi
Oh.
don't deal with that.
Well, Jedi could be. Yoda could be strong enough to do that.
Yoda, he very well is, but he would never do that because he's too set in the ways of the Jedi.
He also told Luke to kill his father.
No, he never told Luke to kill his father. He told him to defeat his father. There's a difference.
Fair.
True.
And then didn't say he had a sister.
Luke defeated his father, but he never killed his father. Palpatine killed him
We got, yeah.
by the after effects.
Yeah.
Of the
And,
Force lightning.
Technically, the Death
The
Star.
sad harmonica song.
Another thing that was
The
canon
burial
before,
killed him.
another thing that was canon before Disney took over was that Palpatine had clones of himself, which I would see them going back and doing more clone stuff. That's what my money is on is that it's a Yoda clone, because that's another thing too is that Yoda's species was pretty much near the extinction. Or there's so few and far between, mostly because how long they age, and
There's also Yaddle that nobody talks about.
yeah, I thought it was
She was
Yaddle.
badass. Yeah,
There's
badass.
There's more people in this species that have been mentioned throughout the.
There's
Like in
literally
KOTOR.
Yoda and
KOTOR.
Yaddle.
I thought it was Yaddle.
And then there's
Yeah.
a few. If you watch
Well,
any
that's
videos on
Yaddle.
YouTube, they go over a few.
No,
And
so
like the
I
Old
looked it up.
Republic, because Old Republic's canon.
I looked it up yesterday because I looked up Yaddle's Wikipedia.
Wikipedia?
Yaddle's Wikipedia. And it's literally because they wrote her in the episode 1. They must have realized the mistake because literally the canon's just like, oh yeah, after the invasion of Naboo, she got less and less involved in politics and left it to High Council. No explanation.
She went
Yeah.
from Jedi. She wasn't even a Jedi. She pretty much just went straight to the council.
Yeah.
Because she did badass
I mean,
shit.
it could be possible. Like, it could be also that's how the species regenerates. Like, there's maybe like 2 or 3 Yodas out there, and then when they die, there's just a spore that creates.
That's not the
another
case,
Yoda.
because the explanation behind Yoda, and I think this is still canon, is because why no one knows where he's from is because their world is like very peaceful, and they don't want to tell anyone where they're from because they don't want to bring war back onto the planet.
Highly xenophobic culture. It could be possible.
That's an explanation.
No. Xenophobes are people who are afraid of other species.
I
It
understand.
falls under that.
I've played
Just on a
Star
different
Wars.
level.
Well, the reason being is like he didn't think the planet was ready for such war
Yeah.
because they were peaceful people set in a different type of way, and war's just not part of their culture, so they wouldn't last a minute.
Yeah, but anyway, so second episode is him going back to deliver the package, but he runs into some
Jawas.
locals. Jawas strip his ship for parts. He has a rifle. It's a pulse rifle or something, right? Or
Something like that.
Disintegrator or something.
yeah, that it completely fucking evaporates anything.
Yeah, no, it's a disintegrator.
It's also a taser.
It straight up deletes people.
It's also like a cowpoke. It tasers people too.
That's such a high fear factor of a weapon.
Yeah, it's fucking.
It
sick.
really is. Like, imagine you're in a firefight
No.
and then just like the guy next to you just vanishes. That would
He holds that
scare
thing
the
like a
shit out of
cowboy
me.
too.
Yeah.
So where's Thanos? Like.
It's just like, oh my god.
And we
Is
have
the
a
purple guy?
fun combat scene and chase scene where he's climbing on the sand crawler
Throwing
and he
pots
gets
and pans
he
and
gets
furniture and shit.
he gets fucking tased by a bunch of Jawas and falls
Hurry
off.
up, throw the shit we can't sell. The Mandalorian's on the side of our ship. I was laughing that whole scene because they're literally just, oh fuck, he's here.
No,
Goddamn.
and my favorite part of that scene is that Baby Yoda's like
Like, slowly
bed is
trailing and
following
watching.
behind.
It's funny what the Mandalorian religion will do to a person. Like, it'll send you into a rampage because you're getting hit by pots and pans with
See, it's
Jawas,
just
and you want to
unintentional
proceed.
comedy.
This guy got murked. He got murked by Jawas, and he still wanted to continue.
I did love like weapons are part of my religion, and he just drops them, and he's arguing with the Jawas because he's so frustrated. And he's just like, "Yeah, well, how about that?" And he still has the
Well, in all,
fucking
they know he's
flamethrower.
doing this for 200 vats of Beskar steel. So I mean, this is very. He really only is doing this because of religion.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of him taking this mission.
What,
But
the
so
fuck, what the
his-
fuck was in that egg?
Well, we'll get to that.
Yolk.
So we get he has to go negotiate with the Jawas to get his parts back. We get the whatever the guy's name is. What's
Let's
the
call
actor's
him
name
the
that plays
other-
him?
Nick
No.
Nolte.
McNulty.
Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte. We get Nick Nolte's character comes back and he's like, "I will help you with Jawas. I have spoken." And so he negotiates. Turns out the Jawas want a giant egg.
For
Some
some fucking.
Mudhorn.
And he kills a big rhino thing.
Yeah, he kills a
It's a
hairy
Mudhorn.
rhino.
Mudhorn.
I thought it was.
I want to know what's in that egg that is tradable for a
Big
whole
yolk.
shit.
It's a yolk.
Big ol' omelet.
It's a yoke that a Jawa can't kill a Mudhorn for.
Yeah, and it's like a
Come on,
delicacy. See, I thought the rhino was a callback to Attack of the
Wars.
Clones, Well, no, because there's that rhino creature.
I was about to say Minot. Wait, Minot's the space bat.
But I thought it was a callback to that, but it's not. But the Mandalorian's helped out by little. See, I'm gonna keep calling him Baby Yoda because that's what everyone's been referring to
That's
him
what you
as.
have
I mean, as of now, we just call him Baby Yoda.
You know that photo of like Stalin and his cronies, and then it's just like the original photo, and then the guy that's left out.
Yeah, everyone that gets purged starts getting erased.
So like the first panel is literally just like, he's not really Yoda. People keep calling him Baby Yoda, but there's a species, and it's shown on Wikipedia, and then it's just him just censored out in the next picture.
Yeah, so he raises the creature up, and then it allows the Mandalorian to finally kill it and then take its egg. It was a pretty gross scene of the Jawas devouring the yolk. Like the second they get it, they crack it open and put it in whatever mouth they have.
Horrible,
Also,
creatures.
Jawas with red eyes. That's new. They were.
Yeah, I thought their eyes were
Usually
always like yellow or white.
Yeah.
They've been in the sun too long.
They're smoking that good.
Yeah. What if they're just high as fuck and that's why they want the egg?
The egg!
We got the
Bro.
monkeys.
Shouted the
Bro,
other
I'm
ones.
hungry as fuck. You guys want to make this guy get an egg for us?
We just threw all our food at him. We kind of
Dude,
need an egg right
We
about
haven't
now.
gone grocery shopping in like 10 weeks.
They're all just sitting around. They're like,
Yo, what's the last time you've been to Tashi Station?
they're all just like.
Pull it up, Jerry.
You guys ever notice that we always say "Utini" and we never ask "Who teeny"
Oh my god.
or "Why teeny"?
Or where teeny.
What if they can say other things? That they
Shut the
just
fuck
don't?
up, Brad.
Or Martini.
Bugging me out.
But so what else is on Disney Plus that you guys have been watching? I've been just revisiting my childhood.
I watched The Rocketeer.
Good movie.
Why?
People don't
It was
appreciate
good.
that movie as
I've been
much
watching
as they
Rebels. Rebels is good.
Rebels is okay.
Rebels?
There's a few
Rebels
good
is good.
scenes. I mean,
I'm
but
trying to get
it's like
through the
filler.
first season.
It's a lot of
I've read the
filler,
first
just like
season.
Clone Wars.
But so is Clone Wars. And Clone Wars.
Eventually,
I
Darth
just said
Maul
just-
does.
Yeah.
Eventually, Darth Maul does come up in that story.
I know he does.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, good.
It's amazing.
There's a rumor that they're going to make a Darth Maul series.
So Brendan,
Yeah.
They're
that's
fighting
yours.
Darth Maul kind of to death now because now we know his story now.
His story has a very
Hey,
good
look
beginning,
at
middle,
it this
and
way.
end.
Look at it this
Yeah.
way. He's the only good thing to come out of episode 1, so I'll accept content with
I
him.
wouldn't say that. Qui-Gon Jinn is a very good thing to come out of episode 1.
And Ewan McGregor.
He's the way the Force goes.
Ewan McGregor got more time to be better in the following movies, though.
I was
I
watching.
can't name anything
yeah.
in the first one really that I can remember.
The way he
Well, that's
handled
the one
Darth
called
Maul.
out Anakin and said that he's dangerous. So
Calm down, Andy.
There's those Lego Star Wars shorts that you can watch on Disney Plus right now, and they're
Red
funny. 'cause
flags.
there's-
Get your red
flags. Get your red flags here. Oh, Anakin, do you want to? Have you ever thought about being a Jedi?
Great red flag.
Oh, Anakin, I'll miss you. I'll see you again one day. Danger signs. Come by your danger signs.
There's also this The Simpsons, all 30 seasons of The Simpsons.
I've been watching
Yeah.
this
I saw your
I need to
complaint on
watch it.
Facebook. It does physically annoy me that there isn't a 4x3
Dude, they
ratio.
cut out the Sneed Seaton feed. $4 Bucks joke. They actually cut that off.
There's a lot of jokes that are cut out because of the ratio being fitted.
Fucked up.
yeah, and also so supposedly Disney has been putting warnings in front of some of their content that hasn't aged well. I haven't seen anything yet.
It's the Simpsons movie.
What do
where
you think
Bart
of
goes,
that in
I'm
general?
the mascot of an evil corporation, and
Because
it's still in there.
Because I know for a fact that you're the one who usually gets, I guess, triggered over some of this
I wouldn't
stuff.
say I got triggered.
But you have a lot to say sometimes about
Yeah,
stuff
I'm
like this.
politically minded, but like,
They still
I
won't
think
put
it's-
Song of the South though.
I think it's good
That
for them
would
to
never happen.
acknowledge that things haven't aged well whenever they're releasing.
Yeah.
You
What
mean
about
that-
people getting mad? at it?
Warner Brothers does that.
Getting mad at the
Where do
fact that they're acknowledging it.
Where do you draw the line as to like when stuff gets politically incorrect? Like obviously.
So when it comes to, I'm gonna. Do you mind if I speak on your behalf?
Go
Because I
ahead.
might have an opinion on it too. Because it's more along the lines of when it's old. To censor it is to also claim that it never happened.
Yeah.
that's true.
That is my. That's also why. I
But
agree
there
with
are a
Warner
lot of
Brothers.
people that want it censored and want it gone.
I don't
know
think
we're
it's
not talking
censored.
about
I think
you
it's
right
good to acknowledge where we've come from, and I
'Cause
think that even them saying this stuff hasn't aged well, we're acknowledging it. That's good.
Yeah,
That's them
it is.
claiming the
It's
fact
good to
that
still put stuff up while acknowledging
That was
it.
the reality that was there back then. And
Man, there's a lot of jabs at Disney and early Simpsons stuff.
and
Yeah,
Fox.
there is.
of course.
But I watched the Steamboat Willie cartoon for the first time. That thing's fucked up. There's an entire sequence where Mickey's playing along to the music of the background music basically, and he's on the steamboat, and there's a mama pig. There's a female pig nursing other piglets. He picks up the mom, lifts her up. The piglets are still hanging onto the nipples. He rips them all off, flips the pig over, starts flicking. I swear to God, starts flicking the nipples to the beat of the song, and they're like bells. And I was watching this, I was like, what? What the hell is this?
It
You have to
really,
think
it really does play like somebody was stoned.
You had to think how simple-minded people were back then, though.
Well, it was just. I think it would have been even weird back then. Like this mouse, this anamorphic mouse, is flicking the nipples of this.
You got to remember, how old are you?
I'm 22.
How old were kids watching Steamboat Willie?
22.
What?
Actually, no, that's not necessarily an unrealistic number because at that time that animation was impeccable. So like people would actually go to watch that.
Hi, I'm a 35-year-old man, and I'd like to see it too.
Yeah, but come on, to say
that's
Walt
a
Disney made that cartoon for an adult, it's just a
but
bigger
still,
mistake.
it's weird. I'm just saying that it's weird now.
I
don't know if
understand.
it could have been weird. They could, in the 20s when it was released, it could have been completely normal to flip over pigs and flick their nipples. Who the hell
It wasn't
do I know?
normal, but it's a
I mean,
cartoon.
cow tipping was normal, so
It's a cartoon.
Alright, so
But yeah, so I've been watching Rebels. Rebels is cool.
This is really good.
I
Last
can
season's like the best season.
I understand people's complaints because I was talking to Brendan and Mungi about this, that Clone Wars is a lot more grandiose because it was an entire war that they could bounce around in.
Well, yeah, it's an anthology series versus a kind of straightforward series.
Yeah, and
one thing that Disney wanted to do with Rebels is they wanted to make it more straightforward than Clone Wars.
Yeah, and it's I know Rebels has some pretty great scenes. I know the final fight between Ahsoka, supposed final fight between Ahsoka
and Vader.
and
Yeah,
Vader is really cool.
It's really good. Yeah.
I know they bring the Blue Admiral from the Empire.
Thrawn. Yeah.
Thrawn's in
Thrawn.
it.
I know he comes
Cody,
in.
Not Cody, but
Let me Rex.
501st.
Rex comes in. I know.
I just want to say what they did with Thrawn is egregious.
Really?
The way they formed the story around him in Rebels is completely against what he was in the Thrawn trilogy.
I don't know his character too well, so
You have to read the Thrawn trilogy. That'll give you like the best idea of how he was designed versus like how he was in Rebels.
Yeah.
He was like a complete dick in Rebels, whereas he was a little bit more analytical. Well, not compassionate, more analytical
Yeah.
of an asshole. Like obviously he works for the Empire, so he's gonna be a dick. Like it's kind of a stock photo.
Yeah.
But he's more analytical in the Thrawn trilogy, and you get a lot more backstory as to why he is the way he is.
Yeah. And even with Rebels, they put a nice bow on Maul's story.
Oh,
I feel like the final confrontation between him and Ben is great.
Short and sweet.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's very
You get
to both of their characters because ultimately Maul is a damaged person that in his entire life was almost trying to find meaning.
No, I think he found meaning. It's to torture Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No, meaning is
that was the meaning
having cyborg legs. That's true meaning.
Oh my god. No, the meaning was to torture Obi-Wan. Because if you
Basically,
look back on the Clone Wars, all that he did and lived to do after he got saved by Savage Opress was to ruin Obi-Wan's life.
I love any character whose entire goal is to ruin one person's life.
And that's mainly what it is. And, he believes that Obi-Wan gets killed in Order 66. So that's why he goes to Crimson Dawn and everything and starts, spoilers for Solo, but he leads a crime syndicate, and then think that's that middle that no one really knows about.
Maul Shane.
The syndicate that he leads throughout, and that's the middle that needs to be elaborated on. So that's what I think, like, if they make a Maul series, that's what it's going to be on. But you say he kills Duchess Satine, he kills his master, and that 2 episodes, those 2 episodes were so heavy. The best episodes in the Clone Wars, if anything. That's the best starting point.
The whole Night Sisters story.
Yeah, the Night Sisters arc was really good.
I think my favorite is still 5's, because the end of that story made me hurt on the inside.
The nightmares.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah. So speaking of the Night Sisters, I think would be a good time to talk about the games that have released.
Because what does that have to do with Night Sisters?
Well,
they have lightsabers.
in Jedi Knight we go to Dathomir. Well, it's not a spoiler. It's literally like the first 2 seconds of the game, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
We
I only
talked
played
about
through the first level where you get on the ship.
Definitely.
I've been very busy with work.
Oh, you haven't finished it yet. I thought I was under.
I played it and I love it.
Yeah, well, I didn't. I'm not going to spoil it here, but you do go to death near there. But it's not.
I thought the Night Sisters were dead. I thought they got killed in the Clone Wars.
A lot of them do, and then the
Well, Mother Talzin's definitely.
Mother Talzin's a myth. Not a myth. A mist. She evaporated into a mist when she was stabbed, and she's just like, "No, I'm forever, psych." And then she's
bye, bitch.
Yeah, and then she comes back when Savage comes back. Savage comes back to the planet. It's like, what happened? And she literally just reformed into a person.
That is the most Star Wars thing.
We always
his brother
Yeah,
Savage Oppress.
but in an accent,
just as
Savage
great as
is
General
before-
Grievous and
before
Sergeant
Clone
Bad Guy.
Wars, Before Clone Wars was on Netflix, like I remember when Clone Wars was still on the air, and they just introduced Savage Oppress, and I wasn't even
Savage.
Savage, whatever.
Savage.
But like, well, no,
It's literally
I was
spelled
walking
Savage
through.
Oppress.
I was walking through Toys R Us. Probably, I think it was around Christmas time, and I walked by their Star Wars section because I always look, even though no matter what,
You're not
I'm
gonna buy
looking
anything.
at their Star Wars stuff. And then I saw the character, and I read it, Savage Oppress. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's what.
Did you
what I
watch
was like,
any of
even
the
as a
story
kid
arc?
when
No,
I saw
I
it in
did. I
general?
like
It's
it.
phenomenal.
I like his story now, but like when I wasn't even watching Clone Wars. I only watched a little bit when I was still that age when Clone Wars was on and I cared about it. But once into high school, I stopped paying attention to it, and then like I said, I walked through Toys R Us. I was like, what the fuck name is that? Like, how on the heck can you get?
That's exactly my reaction when even as a kid when I heard General Grievous. I was like,
Yeah.
General Grievous was always cool.
I know,
Yeah.
but that name though, that's dumb.
The way he died was not cool though.
But anyway,
That was
so
very
Jedi Fallen
shot.
Order it's pretty okay. I think
So uncivilized.
I have a few complaints about it.
With Jedi?
I understand that the main character is essentially a Padawan. He didn't finish his training before the Empire took over.
Yeah, that was a hitch.
Hmm?
So that was a little hiccup in his training.
Yeah,
Oh shit, we all.
but I don't know, because our last real Jedi game we got was Force Unleashed
Yep. 2.
2, and I liked
Where you play
being a
as a
powerful Jedi. And when in this new game, you're
learning to be
mostly saber.
cut down a bit.
Well, I also never liked the factor because I saw some gameplay. I don't like baseball bat lightsabers. I know
What do you
it's
mean?
for gameplay, but it's like
He wants to be able to chop people
What do
in
you
half.
mean? A lot of the game
because
plays parrying. It's a lot of what it is.
No, his
Parrying. You don't
complaint
just
is
hack and
that
slash.
his complaint is that lightsabers aren't as effective as they
That's
are in the
it.
movies.
That's
But
wrong.
that's
I know
false.
it needs to be done in order for gameplay factor. But if I hit you once with a lightsaber on your goddamn chest, I'm sorry, you're dead.
No, most of the stormtrooper characters they're dead in like 2 hits.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
They're
it's
so really powerful.
Well, if you're a Jedi and you're not going to stop at one hit. You're going to continue the combo because there's going to be multiple guys around you, so you got to
Yeah.
stay moving.
All right.
It's classic hand-to-hand combat.
The combat is pretty fluid. I think I would like a little bit more emphasis on force abilities, but like I said,
That's true.
the Padawan.
You should just force choke a motherfucker.
And he also wasn't totally connected to the Force because that's a big storyline. It's him rekindling his connection with the Force. I haven't finished it, so I can't give a general idea of what I think of the story. But the story, so far, it's okay.
It's alright. I like how compelling it is. I mean, I like the fact that we just have a good Star Wars game again.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
reviews
no,
are really good
yeah.
on it. The user scores are good.
Because the Battlefront games didn't really get the best of scores,
I
so
like
I was
the-
really
Well,
glad
did you
to
play
see
Battlefront recently?
I know the Battlefront 2 got better, but that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
but
So
that's
did the
the
original
beginning of it
Battlefront.
really.
Battlefront got the first
I like the
Battlefront
first
got
Well,
hit.
it's like going from horse shit to dog shit.
Well, it got
I mean,
hit. It got a lot of shit because it had a lack of content opening.
I-
And then once Rogue One came out, they started adding more content. And then when they added the Rogue One stuff, it got really good.
Yeah, with the first Battlefront, I liked it because I felt like it was more authentic to the movies, and I felt
Is
like
there
I was
space
playing
fighting in Fallen?
scenes.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Is there any space fighting in Fallen Order?
No, not that I know of.
I
But
just
it's
want
all-
a Star Wars space fighting game. Why is that so
Did
fucking
you play
hard?
Battlefront 2?
But that's not the purpose of
That's
this
not
game,
the
though.
point.
The game out the
I
bat
know,
was
I
supposed
know. No, it's not that.
Yeah.
I just want that game. I want.
You'll
just-
get it eventually.
No, I won't.
Star Combat?
Play
My
Elite
Battlefront
Dangerous.
2 and come over to my house. I'll put it on PSVR.
Yeah, but
and you can
Battlefront
try
2,
and do
Battlefront 2 was the closest that it could be. It could have gotten, and it was still horrible.
Renegade Squadron was the
I don't-
best in air combat. I love that game.
Excuse me. I
The
apologize.
SP one, yes I do.
I played a lot of hours of that game. I can't disagree.
So
I can't
many
disagree, but I
hours of
can't
that game.
agree.
I played so much ad hoc.
I love Battlefront 2. It's such a good casual gaming experience.
I sold it recently because I knew I wasn't going to probably pick it back up.
That's brutal.
But anyway, my other complaint, I gotta complain because I'm a Star Wars fan, and that's
that's what we do.
That's
I'm a
our
Star Wars
job.
fan.
That's what we do.
I think I'm going to get some slack from you guys. I'm not a fan of the voice actor of the main character.
You don't like Cameron Monaghan?
Yeah, no, you don't like Joker from Gotham
Come on, man.
/
That's the guy.
This is gonna
I
sound-
know he's not the star of the show. I know the
also
star of
the-
the show is the what's her face. I don't want to generalize here, but
I know who you're talking. I don't know
yeah.
her name either.
No.
I don't know.
Well, what's
most
her
of
name in the
characters.
game?
I don't know.
Sarah? Isn't it like Sarah or
Miranda
something like
Baccarat?
that?
It was like Sarah or something.
Sarah, yeah.
Casey.
The person that ends up training you.
Yeah, and she's
She's like the
cool.
star of the show.
The characters are cool. I'm just not a big fan of
Travis
that
Fimmel was a
actor.
role.
Really, I know whatever, but like
The guy's just gonna tweet back.
I don't
well, I'm not
see-
really a big fan of you.
I'm
Cameron
just not-
Monaghan, you heard it here first.
I feel like he's
You
another
got whole
Anakin.
snap.
The way he feels like another Anakin. Like he's very like
Master
dull.
Yoda.
I'd say he's
Yeah.
very dull and moaning. Like I think like the
I
opening scenes where he's
understand.
like in the train, where he's in the train, he's like, yo, just leave me alone. Like I'll be gone for a while. Like that was pretty good. I mean, I'm still not through the story, but I've heard reviews saying that he's not like he doesn't give the best performance.
Yeah, which
but
is really
what are you gonna
weird.
do when you're doing an action sequence game, but you're not feeling the emotions
Yeah.
of doing an action sequence?
So
Like,
honestly, it's weird because Cameron Monaghan's usually a knock it out of the park fucking actor. He's
Yeah.
great on Shameless too.
yeah, and but like overall, I think it's a good game. I'm just not a big fan of the main voice actor because
Yeah.
another thing, so. Everything's mocap, obviously, since it's
Well,
for
this is
2019.
2019. Yeah.
So Cameron Monaghan, is that his
Monaghan,
name?
yeah.
His jaw juts out when he talks.
Yeah, no, his
And so
yeah.
even like just standing there, his jaw juts out, and I'm just like, that's
That's really weird.
that's weird.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna body shame the guy, but like, it's just he in my mind when I think of a Jedi, I don't think of him. That's to say that.
yeah, yeah.
I don't.
That's
but
also
Honestly,
a good
most of his
thing.
roles aren't that consistent with the Jedi.
Yeah, and whatever. He's the game's good. There's a upgrade in the game that I did not see coming. I'm not going to spoil it since you guys didn't play. I'm not going to spoil it for those who haven't played it yet because it also comes out kind of out of left field. There's no build up in it at all. You just get it. Because
there's
that's
two ways
very,
to find it.
huh?
Fun fact: there's two ways to find it.
You just
I know,
pick up
right?
a fucking gun.
Yeah, he picks up a fucking gun. It's like fuck it.
Well, Ezra's first
This
lightsaber
works.
was a blaster and a hilt.
Yeah, I know.
I hate
And
that
this
That would be the
slingshot
first
thing.
I
time.
hate that slingshot. I think it's
But anyway, that's enough of me bitching about Star Wars. Sisto was the only one here that's played Pokemon.
I have.
There was a lot of shit going
Hold
on
on.
about Pokemon.
May I take this one?
It is
real
a
quick?
shame
Go
Mark's
ahead.
not here.
You Pokemon nerds need to shut the fuck up about that national dex. Why the fuck does it matter? How many Pokemon do you fucking need? 800 Pokemon in one region? You're really serious? In real life, does every fucking wild animal show up in your front lawn? No, it fucking doesn't.
No, but I can import them.
Yeah, you can import. That's perfect. So what happens when they add DLC that's going to be possibly free? It's an import to the game. Why does it matter?
Brendan, what if you imported?
That's beside the point.
I plead
Look,
the
he
fifth.
lived in China. He could be importing a lot of shit.
All right.
I don't have
stop.
pangolins in my basement.
Oh,
Whatever would you talk
Just a
about?
sidebar.
Okay, go ahead,
Anyway,
Sisto.
so Pokemon. The story so far? It's a Pokemon game.
Yeah, you're not
What do
looking
you
for the best
expect?
story in the
You're
world.
not gonna get Spider-Man meets God of War. You're gonna get fucking
Unless
Pokemon.
it's Pokemon Black and White.
There's
Pokemon
like,
Black
Then
and White
you
did
get
have a
an
very
amazing
good story.
Then you get an amazing.
You actually
Game
get a
of War
very. That story kept me guessing until the very end. I'll be honest.
I do like that. The
I felt
cops-
for N's character the whole time.
I do like that the cop in Pokemon Go literally goes, hello, or not Pokemon Go, I'm sorry.
Hello,
Pokemon,
hello.
the
What's
new
your wish then?
fanciest stripe with a copper. And I'm just like, that's an actual dialogue.
Bully,
and I'm just
bully.
like, oh my god.
Yeah. So,
Careful,
but Pokemon. I think the interesting part is the wild area. The wild area is one of the high and low points of the game. It was a high point because you have a lot of it gives you a lot of knockaround time, and it does not get old very quickly. It doesn't get old because there's a lot of Pokemon you catch, and the weather changes. When the weather changes, the Pokemon change. Yeah. Which I think where 400 Pokemon does come in handy, because since it's limited, you can go to a different part of the map and the same Pokemon would show up. Much like it would in real life if you go from one tree to another in the same town that you live in, it would stay the same. You would find one squirrel there, and you would find a dragon in the other area.
Yeah, but that's the point of Pokemon.
That doesn't.
You can't argue. Well, you know, in real life, there really isn't like 30 Pidgeys in one tree and then an Onyx underground. It's fucking Pokemon. I don't give a shit. No, but if there's an Onyx in my kitchen sink when I play Pokemon, I don't fucking care because it's Pokemon.
If you watch the anime,
we're really passionate on this show.
If you watch the anime,
I watched the anime.
Let's watch.
How many Pokemon are in each region? Like, does every Pokemon show up in the anime
every
season?
Yeah, but then there's the anime and then there's the game.
Okay.
There never has been a realistic connection between that and the game. Because if I walk 5 steps, there's a Pidgey. If I walk 5 more steps,
to bring things back for a second, it should all be like black and white, where then at the end of the game, that's where all the new Pokemon come, or that's where all the old Pokemon come out, and they just make you catch all the new ones to begin.
You can't argue realism in Pokemon. You can't.
I'm not arguing realism. I'm just saying.
Well, it's unrealistic.
Why are they Why are they complaining why do you need all 800 Pokemon at once?
Because.
Like, what does that serve you in the gameplay? You're not going to use any of the new Pokemon. You're not going to be determined to find a new strategy. It makes the game so much more interesting if you have less and less Pokemon.
I am afraid
that's why X and Y
because there's so many good Pokemon in the world of Pokemon that they have put into this game, especially the new Pokemon.
Okay.
I'm in black and white.
Let me finish.
But hands up.
Taylor, I'm going to let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best Pokemon games in the world, and I gotta finish this.
You don't deserve it now. No, you deserve an interruption for that.
Stop it. No. Can I finish, please? I forgot my train of thought. Go. Just go.
I forgot what I was gonna say though. It's gone now.
Good. Fuck you. I'm moving. I'm continuing.
Okay. Go ahead.
So. This generation of Pokemon is one of the best yet. I think some of the Pokemon that they've introduced are so they're odd and they're cool.
There's one who's a guitarist.
There's literally a penguin with an ice cube on its head, and you're saying that.
Mike.
I think that's fucking awesome.
You're saying that's a great addition. It's a penguin with an ice cube on its head.
It's one of the rarest fucking Pokemon in the game.
I fucking hate
it's not like you're shoving it down your throat.
There's a Corgi Pokemon.
That was the best addition.
This is the best Pokemon in the game. I have one. I have one best Pokemon in the game. It's a Pokemon called Sinistea. The description of this Pokemon.
Drink its tea.
Sorta.
Yeah.
It's a Pokemon that it's a soul that goes into a cup, but it's been imported and faked. So there's fake versions of the Pokemon and real versions of Pokemon. The only way you can tell is if you turn the Pokemon around when you catch it, and it has a stamp on the bottom of the cup. And there's 2 different Pokedex entries for it.
That's
fucking
really cool.
That's so fucking cool.
There's another one. There's another one that my friend
Pokemon is the one that's most rule.
And then you give it a cracked pot. Like it's called a cracked pot, and it fucking evolves.
So
it's so fucking cool.
Well, my friend told me about one where what is it? Oh yeah, so it's one that pretends to play air guitar, and depending on its nature, if it's if it's outgoing versus
Inside Out,
outgoing versus another thing, it'll actually change as it goes.
So it's individual values.
The one that's outgoing will be all exuberant, playing looking like it's playing in a rock band. The other one
that's timid is playing like John Mayer.
If it's timid, it's or whatever it is. It's it turns purple and it starts strumming a slow guitar, looking like it's just playing solo on its own. I don't know what the name is.
Because I haven't seen that one yet. I mean,
there's also an apple pie dragon.
Yeah, I'm only done 7 badges.
Starts as an apple.
I know.
As a baby.
And and another thing I want to touch on before we move on is the Gigantamaxing and the Dynamaxing. I think it's a refreshing thing to the game because it's not like Mega Evolutions. It can't be used every battle. Yeah. It can only be used in gym battles, some trainer battles, and it can be used in the wild and max raid dens, which I think they tie that in really well. They give it a good explanation to where it's easy to understand and it's not overly ridiculous towards the game because obviously you've seen ridiculous shit in Pokemon.
Yeah.
So this makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's the best game mechanic
since. Makes sense.
Yeah, they make this one make sense. Unlike just all of a sudden, these 50 billion Pokemon have Mega Evolutions, and no one knew about it until now.
Okay.
We're at.
I'm sorry. I keep thinking. Go. I'm sorry.
See, the more you do this, the more I forget what I'm going to say.
Good.
It makes it so much harder to form my argument.
Sorry, I keep doing it.
I know.
And Mike talked about this earlier. I do
This is like the
apologize.
first time in a while that I've ever really done research because I had a lot of time on my hands to do
Okay,
this stuff.
keep talking. Go ahead.
I'm trying, but I keep forgetting. But yeah, they do a good job with the Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing your Pokemon to where like the selection is limited and they save it for like the pretty cool Pokemon. And they have these alternative forms. So like Butterfree, for example. You would think Butterfree, it's a pretty fucked Pokemon. Like it's one of the
I
weakest
love
Pokemons.
Butterfree.
You get it in every game. But its Gigantamax version looks like fucking Mothra. Which is pretty cool.
That's
like,
pretty cool.
yeah, it's like kaiju.
It's like you have to bring out 2 like women to summon.
Yeah. And what
Do it
Pokemon's
second.
been doing is they use the live update system that they can do with the Switch, and they promote certain Pokemon to appear more.
Mhm.
And like one of the beetles is like I think I called it Orbeetle, and when it's a Gigantamax, it's a UFO looking thing. I thought it looks
That's
pretty
cool.
cool. So the way they do it,
Meowth
it's
just becomes Long Cat.
yeah, exactly. It's a
Hey, I
gimmick.
saw that.
Yeah, it becomes the fucking half a cat dog.
becomes
It's
Long
fucking
Cat.
awesome. But like the way I like it because it's refreshing. Like Pokemon, I don't take it too seriously. There's a lot of people that do because they take away like half of the Pokemon in the game. But number one, it's Game Freak. They're gonna listen to you complain. They're gonna add it in anyway.
They
So
took
just
out
enjoy
50
the.
starters, Mike.
They took out what?
They took like it wasn't a 50 out of the original 150 they took out. I don't care about
But it
I don't care about lady
Why do you
gens
need?
taking it
So
out.
you're gonna use Blastoise? In
Yes.
Sword and Shield? You're gonna use Blastoise.
It's a
in Sword and
turtle
Shield?
with
Yes.
guns.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes, I'm
Are
going
you
to
gonna
use
use
it.
Venusaur?
Because it's not at that point. Like I get like newer generations
If it
are
is a
playing and
Pokemon
falling in
based
love
on
with
a
it,
turtle,
but you
yes,
got
I
to
will
keep
use
that
it.
150 solid. Because that 150, the original 150.
I disagree.
Was a
I guess it's a
staple.
personal preference. That's why you have Let's Go. Let's Go gave you the 150 just to bring the people back into Pokemon. Now they're going to introduce the new ones and reintroduce
know.
you to the older ones.
They need
Maybe
to
it's
bring
because
back-
I'm-
they need to bring
maybe
back
the older
proverbial
generations are
ban
gonna
outside
say
If you
that
want to be
attitude.
frank, Pokemon
I'm
should
on
have stopped.
Jacob, go on.
Pokemon should have stopped after 3rd gen. They should have stopped after Home. But they
I
kept
don't
going
care
because
about
it's a
that.
cash
Yeah,
grab.
yeah,
It's
But
the most
then black and
profitable
white
series
would
ever,
exist.
isn't it?
One of them, if not the most.
It's
the
Other than
breaking
Star
records.
Wars, I'd say.
I think it's the most profitable IP in the world.
I would say Star Wars between them and
It's
Star
fucking
Wars.
No,
Nintendo,
I think
man.
Star Wars is too American localized. I think since Pokemon is like most of Asia.
Yeah, no,
and Europe
Pokemon.
and everything-
Pokemon's also popular in China, which Star Wars isn't.
Yeah,
So that's the main
I
determiner.
think Pokemon's the most popular IP. I can double check that.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
think
I'd
it's
agree with that.
Most
I'm
profitable
fine with
IP ever. I do have a few things to say. So, the reviews for Pokemon when it first came out, all the user reviews were like
Review bombed.
they were review bombed because
Oh yeah,
it
well the
became a-
textures fucking suck too.
All the-
Yeah, no, they do. Those
Textures
trees,
are
those
bad.
trees look fucking awful.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
it
are
doesn't
bad.
look good as a game.
There's a weird scene. I was watching shout out to Mark
Like
Greco. I was
an
watching Mark
Geo.
Greco play, and he was on like the ice and snowy sections of the map,
Mhm.
and for some reason there's like a shoreline that you're still going for like water type Pokemon.
Yeah,
And
there's a
and-
fighting type in
No,
there.
no. There was like 5 people like in bathing suits on the beach, and there's an umbrella, and I'm just like,
What?
Mark, go back. Like,
Hey, Polar Plunge is coming up. Don't judge them.
Yeah, that's how people in UK are. They're fucking crazy.
and yeah, because you can literally
I
stamp
wouldn't
any
know.
like person listening.
Only
Well,
been
it's the
there once.
UK. It happens there.
It's always cold in the UK, pretty much.
Shout out to our one Brit listener.
Yes,
Go
Mark.
ahead.
But I was saying, so it got reviewed bomb. The game doesn't look great. I understand that. I will have to say I do side with Sister here because I kind of understand. They want to promote their newer Pokemon because I understand that if they keep bringing back old ones, people are just going to go back to the way they.
Yeah.
And I understand they want.
Pokemon's always been like that, where it
Yeah.
hasn't had every Pokemon in the national deck's available.
Yeah, not
and
when
they,
the new Pokemon suck.
They don't though.
they don't though.
They
There
don't.
was
If
a
you play the
penguin
game-
with an ice cube
Did
on
you
its
hear
damn
me?
That thing's fucking
goddamn
cool
head.
looking.
No, it's not.
Mike, have you played the
Mike.
game yet?
Mike, did
Have you played the game yet?
Did you hear
No.
what I
So
said?
you can't tell me if it's cool or not. You
There
haven't used it
is
yet.
there is a dragon that is an apple pie,
That's
and
fucking
it
so
starts
cool.
as an apple. How is that not cool?
But anyway, what I was saying is that so you brought up the Pokemon that's T. Basically, it's
Yeah,
a
so
spirit
does
in a
T.
T class. So when we were all, I think that Pokemon was revealed at Nintendo's Direct during E3.
It was immediate.
I think, and so we were all watching. I think it was like me, Mungi, and you, sister, you might have.
You
been
know,
there.
I was
I
there because
definitely
I
wasn't there.
commented that it was immediately going to be seen as
Well,
a
yeah.
rock.
So we were all watching it with our friend Mark, and like when it was like when the Pokemon likes you enough, it will let you drink its special tea, and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
That was
You want to know
immediately
another
like,
fun fact about that
That's
Pokemon?
a red flag.
You want to know another fun fact about that Pokemon? Its evolved form, get this, you're going to love this, has the highest special attack in the video game.
It's still a
Non-legendary.
teacup.
Yeah, but it's a fucking rake. The thing fucking rakes in competitive play.
It's still
It evolves into a rake?
No, it doesn't evolve.
Yeah,
But
it
anyway,
might. It might
rakes.
evolve into a rake.
I do have one question, because this was a big thing that had a lot of controversy. Is the main reason that they didn't put the National Pokédex in is because they're revamping the animations. And I know,
There
So-
are animation problems, so
the
I understand
animations,
that.
some ones I've seen so far, aren't that impressive, but I haven't played the game yet. So I wouldn't know, I haven't seen them all yet. But,
It's a Pokemon game.
but
The
my
game's not
question
stunning
was,
graphics.
is that, so I know the Wii has some hardware limitations that with its the Switch has
I was gonna say, like, you're 12 years too fucking late.
We were trying to
play
hopefully
this
did
on
at the
the
same
Wii.
time.
The
Just
Wii.
like, really? The Wii?
the Wii had hardware
Oh
limitations
no, it did.
too.
Oh, it had
Oh
many.
my stars.
Have you ever tried to play Wii Bowling? The ball flies backwards.
And
It has one of the best Silent Hill games though.
I do want to make a comment.
But no, let me continue what I was saying. So I know the Switch had some hardware limitations. A lot of the animations, they tend to not perform the way they should. Breath of the Wild had that issue a lot. And so my question was, with the animations, do they perform well? Is there any chugging at all? or-
When you're playing in dock mode, everything runs smoothly.
Really?
I would say on some of the Gigantamax, if you're playing in handheld mode, it does go a little bit slower, and you do feel your console start to heat up. But it's a rare problem.
Yeah.
I can't.
Please tell me
If
long
you're playing with the
poses.
Wi-Fi on and you're playing in open world mode with like everyone around you, it gets very choppy. But I play offline and the game's very pleasure. I get a lot of pleasure from playing the game.
I think
haven't seen
Pokemon's
Pokemon
best
games.
way is to play offline unless you're trying to be competitive.
Yeah. I think Pokemon, it was made well. I mean, I think it should have been designed a lot more open world like Legend of Zelda. I think that would have been a better way to approach it if they wanted to
That
make
would
this
cool.
kind of game. I think the hybrid that they did now is just more true to the format. Because
Yeah.
you want to stick with a Pokemon game that's Pokemon format, but you also want to introduce something new. Which I think should have been the bigger focus of why they made this game versus why they leave out the national desk. I feel like a lot of people wrote this game off because of that fact when it's really not a big deal if you play the game. Because you will quickly forget about that aspect of the game when you're playing it. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of Pokemon from the get-go that you can use that are actually really fun.
Okay, I have one final question, and we gotta move on
Yes.
from here. We'll get to your question, Mungi. So, in your opinion, because you've played both games, what looks better, Let's Go or Sword and Shield?
What looks better?
Because Let's Go,
I felt it's a different type of game, if that makes any sense.
Talking about like Let's Go Eevee or Let's Go.
yeah, I thought
yeah.
Let's Go looked pretty good graphically.
Let's Go looked pretty good because it was, I think, more of a cut and dry game.
Yeah.
They knew they had the textures, they had the maps. They
Yeah,
didn't really
yeah.
have to. They didn't
Much
have to
with it.
gamble anything.
Exactly.
So the game, I think, I don't want to say more complete because obviously Sword and Shield is a rather complete game.
Especially
for
the
the-
Swordward and Shieldbird. If you guys haven't seen them,
So
funny as shit.
it's more Pokemon Eevee and Pikachu. They were good games, but there was more of a template to work with, and I feel like that's why it was a good game because you couldn't really ruin that because you were only adding to the experience. This one you had to make the experience, you had to continue the experience, and you had to make it good.
Yeah.
So that's where it's a different game. To answer that, I do get more enjoyment out of Sword and Shield. You do a lot more. It's more of a cut and dry Pokemon game. You
Okay.
get the battle wild Pokemon. I was missing that playing Let's Go.
Yeah, I
Pikachu
forgot
and
they
Eevee.
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
have that.
One thing is shiny hunting is annoying. There's a lot of glitches that you can
Have you found a
expose.
shiny Bidoof yet?
No, I have not. I don't think the Doof's in the game.
Fuck!
Hey, but they've got Zigzagoon.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's a good game. I wouldn't. See, I'm just not the type of person that cares if all the Pokemon are in the game.
Yeah.
Because in actuality, in the main game, the main story, not every Pokemon is in the game, and that's been like that ever since Gen 3.
Mhm.
You can't get every Pokemon in the natural game. You have to wait for outside events. You have to wait for other games to trade in, and that's just the way the world worked. And I feel like, why are people bitching about it now when it's something they should have been bitching about ever since 2002? And I guess that's my final 2 cents in the matter, and I think we can move on if no one has anything else to say.
I do want to make one final comment because I'm afraid I'm going to get shit on if I don't. I don't like newer Pokemon. I'm going to say that. I am upset that they cut a lot. I am upset they cut the original 50. I do agree though, like, the game's wasn't made for people like me. And yeah, you're right. I just want to say that.
No,
it's not going to make me.
That's why
Is
they
this
made
because
Let's
you're
Go.
old? Is that
They made Let's Go for you, Boomer.
Yeah. Fuck
Okay,
you.
Boomer.
But I'm just going to say though, you're right. It wasn't made for me, and yeah, it's going to develop, and Pokemon's continue to be successful. But it's just like, it's not going to make me less miserable to myself. But
I don't even know.
that's just my opinion.
The way I think about it is, there's Pokemon obviously no one's gonna like,
The
So
fucking penguin with the goddamn ice cube.
but
No,
you're
I
gonna
was gonna
catch
say
it.
Mud.
But
Okay.
if you're playing Pokemon, you're gonna complete your Pokedex, right? You're gonna catch that fucking Pokemon.
No,
yeah.
no, I'm not.
Let's.
But then you're already
No,
not
I'm
playing the
gonna
game.
drop it to 0, let it faint, and I'm gonna keep fucking going.
Dad's stepping in. Let's not reheat that
Okay, yeah,
argument.
no, let's-
Any
let's-
final
let's,
thoughts
uh,
at all?
I don't know why you don't fucking like the Penguin. It's cool looking fucking
Okay.
thing.
Goddamn
So-
penguin with an ice
Did you get to catch Charlie fucking Chaplin?
What?
Okay.
Mr. Rhyme. You didn't see Mr. Rhyme? It's just like Charlie Chaplin.
Okay.
That's-
Let's move on.
Humanoid Pokemon are wrong. I'm just gonna say that now.
Oh my god.
We're moving on.
Fucking
So,
Joker.
within the last week, I'm not sure if we talked too much about Joker, did we? We didn't really have too much of a segment.
I still need to watch it. I've gotten enough spoiled for me where it's basically I've seen the
Oh,
movie.
so Mungi hasn't seen Joker.
I've had it spoiled enough where it's like I basically know the whole movie.
So we
Oh,
have
so haven't seen it? You get what you fucking did. No, I'm saving that for 200 likes.
So we
You're gonna
have.
kill Bungie? Live on the show? What the fuck?
Mungie.
You're gonna murder him? Jesus Christ.
We
He'll
had
be back.
two big. So we have two bigger
back.
DC IPs happening. So
Yes.
this week we had Joker announce that they are doing 2. Now I know a lot of people wanted this to be a one hit, and
I'm in that party.
It's the highest grossing.
and when I
movie in
saw
the movie ever.
when I saw
yeah,
the,
no,
the
there's
profits
no way
it was
it was.
raking in, because not only that, Warner did not see this movie succeeding. So they split profits 50-50 with the producers.
Wow.
So when all the money came in,
Wow.
so now Joker 2 is coming out. When I saw the numbers come in, we were discussing it in our group chat. What do you think that the sequel is coming? I'd be okay with a sequel if it matches in with the new Batman. I'm completely okay with that. That's great, and because that won't even it takes away having another Batman origin story. Even though the new Batman is going to be year 1 Batman, he's going to be a younger Batman. Anyway, so Joker 2 is coming out, and I knew it was going to happen because it made a shitload of money.
Oh no, Hollywood can't do any single movie if it
And on
makes
top
good
of the
money.
fact, Warner needs a DC series because they haven't had a good one that did well since
And
the Dark Knight series. Because the
I thought you were talking about TV series.
no.
Like-
I meant a
Movie.
DC
The movie,
IP movie series.
A trilogy, like.
Yeah, and they haven't had a good one since. I think I can comfortably say since the Christian Bale Batman, because Justice
And
League.
even those weren't perfect.
Those didn't grow, like everything in DCEU did not gross good money except for Man of Steel did pretty well.
Man, it still
critically
did
and
well, but like that
otherwise.
whole Justice League cinematic universe that they tried,
Because it failed because it was
it
rushed.
failed.
Yeah.
It was rushed,
They
but
need to release
it's a
the Zack
failure.
Snyder.
So we gotta
Zack
catch
Snyder
up.
cut.
Avengers 2 is already
Yeah.
coming out.
The
It was-
Snyder Cut doesn't even exist.
It was a failure.
So that explains
the
all the
biggest
hashtags.
the biggest thing DC needed was a series, and now that the Joker did so well, that's what we're getting. We're going to get a Joker
Probably.
series.
Well,
It's Joker in the 80s, Joker 2.
I'm sorry, continue, because I want a rebuttal.
And so now we get the Robert Pattinson Batman coming out. We're having all these actors being named. We had one for
Colin
Falcone.
Farrell.
Falcone was announced today by who's playing it? Was Matt,
The guy from Section 7 in Transformers.
and he was.
And
Because that narrows down the list.
Hold on.
Oh, you know that guy. I fucking love that guy.
Yeah, he's the best
What other
part of
movies
the.
is he in?
best part of the third one.
Zohan.
He was in,
He was in.
You don't
the
mess
Big
with the
Lebowski.
Zohan.
Yeah, he was the big. He was in the big. He was
Till it
Jesus.
goes
You don't fuck
click.
with the Jesus.
He was also
Pull your
the enemy.
piece
You
out
don't
on
mess
the
with the Zohan. pivotal
Yeah, he
Oscar-winning
was. Yeah, he
performance
was.
by.
Okay, so I'm on IMDb. I'm trying to find the cast.
But yeah, so we've
So
got
we got
that.
Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne. We have Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Selena
I
Kyle.
like that pick.
I like that pick because
Yeah, it's good.
she played her in the Lego Batman movie. That's my favorite part about that.
Oh,
pick.
so his name was John
and she got
Torto.
yeah,
John Torrento.
John Tortino.
John
Yeah,
Torto.
also-
John Tortellini.
Have you seen Anger Management?
Tortellini.
Have you seen Anger Management? With,
John Turturro.
Oh, yeah.
He was in Anger Management too.
Yeah, he was in
Oh.
Grenada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not bad.
That guy at the bar whispered an anti-Semitic slur to me. Are you Jewish? No. But yeah, so we have Andy Serkis as Alfred, which
I can't
I
wait to
don't,
see
I don't
that.
agree. I don't disagree.
I think that's good.
Wait,
I
where?
like that.
Colin Farrell as the Penguin.
It's gonna be so
I don't know how
good.
they're
Because
gonna
the last time that Colin Farrell was in a superhero movie, he was the best part of it.
No, he
Because
wasn't.
Bullseye was the best part of that movie. Bullseye was the best part of Daredevil.
Okay, let's not spin off from the Daredevil here. So, and we have Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner
Definitely
Gordon.
I can't wait for Jeffrey Wright as.
Paul Dano as the Riddler.
I can't see her as Electra.
That was actually a good
Jamie
pick.
Lawson.
She's too white, right?
She's not credited as anyone on the list.
That was actually a very good pick for the Riddler because you have like a scrawny, weak-looking guy.
What was the last Riddler we have? Jim Carrey.
Yes, and let's not talk about that one.
I like Jim Carrey.
I think Jim Carrey was the perfect Riddler.
He was just playing the
So
Joker.
speaking of segues, what's available if you have Amazon Prime is the Adam West DC movie that came out like a couple years ago.
It's
It was
Return of
Adam.
the
It was
Batman or
literally
something.
Adam West's last movie as Batman.
Oh yeah,
But another-
yeah.
so I-
Batman versus Two-Face.
Okay,
No,
let's
no.
So back-
It was. I'm sorry. I
No,
can't
no,
remember.
no.
Let's
fine, that's
regroup
my
here.
fault.
Yeah.
go ahead.
Back on track to the trilogies thing that you were trying, the point that you were trying to make. I think DC is going to go with a kind of fork in the road kind of thing. See, I think they're going to try and make a hybrid of it, where they're going to have two successful series. I think they're going to have the PG family friendly one that's going to be more in tune with the rest of the campy superheroes, and then there's going to be the. Oh, see, what do you think of Shazam?
Oh no! Oh, you're
Because
talking about
that's-
Shazam,
Oh,
Shazam is the
okay.
closest we've gotten to a Raimi Spider-Man movie since the Raimi
Because
Spider-Man movie.
Shazam and Black Adam that's all one arc.
I think
know.
they're
I can't wait for
They're
that.
gonna pop out already.
Shazam,
Yeah.
because Black Adam is going to introduce the JSA,
Okay,
It's so weird that it's
I can see that
and the
happening.
Justice Society of America.
I think it's
I wonder
weird.
how he's gonna play.
I think it's weird because
He can
Black
play- he
Adam's
can
like
play
supposed to be like
mean
Middle
asshole.
Eastern. I think he's supposed to be like a Middle Eastern Turkish guy, and it's
No, well, yeah,
it's
a
very
made-up-
different from
It's
a
a made-up
Samoan
Middle Eastern.
dude. But
He's got
at
the
this
build.
point, it's not the worst. It's not the most egregious casting
he
in
played
comic
the
books.
Scorpion King. He can play another Egyptian character.
Brendan,
At this point in
shut
his
the
career,
fuck up.
I don't think at this point in his career he can. I don't think he can. I think The Rock has almost been typecasted in my point.
Yeah, that's what I
So
mean.
that's why I want to see him in a different role.
Well, I think he's been typecasted to the point of no return at this point because he's done so many of those
Buff
buff
guy
guy
movies.
meathead cop movies
But this
that
is
I think it's going to be
also-
hard. So this movie
I agree.
between here and then he's doing Jungle Cruise. He's
Yeah, he
doing
is. Jumanji 2.
Jumanji 2. And
wait
definitely
for
more
that.
things. He's
So
probably going to
good.
do another spot on WWE.
Let's go, Hobbs and Shaw 2.
Hobbs and
I
Shaw 2,
can't
another
wait.
Fast and
I
Furious.
can't wait.
I
There's
gotta
going to be
watch
another
Hobbs
Fast and
and Shaw.
Hobbs
Furious.
and Shaw is
So you gotta
it's the
think,
only
like,
movie that came out
that's-
this year.
That's all that's between here and then. Like, that's a lot between here and then. So, I mean,
But
he's
this is the big thing. The big reason I am excited for Black Adam is this is a passion project that he has been wanting to make for like the past 10 years almost at this point. He's been wanting to play Black Adam.
That's
in
true.
something. So that's
I see
why
that.
that's why I'm looking forward to it, because the last time we got a passion project superhero movie,
Was
we
Deadpool.
got fucking Deadpool.
I agree.
And it was
All right.
fantastic.
I see that. But Ryan Reynolds wasn't typecast at that point.
Oh no, that is what Ryan Reynolds is typecast as now. Is
Yeah.
Starkey funny guy.
But it worked out for him because he'll be able to make money off of that till he dies. But The Rock will be able to make money off of anything till he dies because
Exactly.
he's The Rock.
He's the Rock. He'll
He's got his
he'll
hand
get
in
numbers
everything.
That's why I want to see
Yeah.
him play something different, because I think he really can.
Okay.
He's played asshole roles
I
before.
see that. But I think that since Rock is typecasted, and this was, I guess you already answered this question that I was going to pose for the open discussion,
Oh.
was that since he is already typecasted as these big, I hate to say it, but meathead cop roles, is changing into a superhero going to change that for him? Like, you already see he's doing Jungle Cruise,
I don't think
Jumanji, like, those are different. Those are vastly different roles than you've seen out of him in the mainstream media.
I mean,
So what's it going to do for his career? That's what
I
would
see it
think about
going.
that.
I see it going two ways. I see it going in a way where he plays The Rock, and it's going to be bad. And it's true. He's just going to be, all right, well, it's basically The Rock as Black Adam. Nobody's going to like it. The other option is because it's a passion project. I believe maybe he will step out of his boundaries, and he'll be known as, yeah, he was always the meathead stereotype, but oh my god, man, was he amazing.
Well,
I also want to point out in WWE, he was never a good guy. He was never a meathead cop. He was usually a mean asshole.
I'm just going to say this too. No one saw Heath Ledger being the Joker.
Yeah,
Because he was typecast as lover boy Blondie.
Yes.
That was true.
It could happen.
Ledger's always the guy you can go back to and say typecast.
I will always
Exactly.
go back to that because it could happen again.
That's
Robert
true.
Pattinson was just in The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
he
Robert
was
Pattinson's
amazing.
one of the-
like 12 other fantastic movies.
Speaking of Robert Pattinson, has anybody seen The King yet?
I have
It's a Netflix. It's about
No.
King Henry the Fourth.
Probably Henry VIII. He's the most
No.
notable one.
Henry VIII's the one that chopped off everyone's
Yeah,
head.
no, it's not Henry VIII.
Yeah, he's the most notable one out of all of them.
It's literally the ending of the 100 Years of War, where the longbows. It was historically like a significantly smaller army beat off a superior force because they used the longbows.
They beat him off.
They fuck off.
So-
It was a great thing, and Robert Pattinson was fucking amazing in it.
Mhm.
I never seen him in another role because of fucking Twilight. He was really good in that.
Those
that
British
was-
actors, man, they know their shit.
Dude,
Most British actors are the real deal.
He was
They're
a
very
he
good
was,
method acting.
he was a Frenchman, and it was hard to watch
But
that
yeah,
with his accent. He
The
was
Rock,
doing.
he can do it.
I think he can. Too.
Okay, so to reconvene back on Batman, I'm excited for it. I think I'm excited for Joker. I think they can do a lot with it. Just if they're going to bring Joker in the Batman series together, the new Batman series is going to be has to be a lot more grounded. Since this depiction of the Joker was more realistic as into how a disturbed person become essentially a political movement, because that's what he ends up being. And I know the new Batman is going to be more of a detective Batman rather than just
secret agent.
yeah. And so I'm excited for it. But other than that, any final thoughts? 'Cause
We
can move on.
need darkness on one end, and we need lightness on the
I
other.
love you.
We need
I
lightness.
loved you, Joker. But fuck you for being another excuse for me to go to the movies to watch Martha and Thomas Wayne get shot in the fucking face.
I
I am tired of seeing Martha.
I have seen it too many times now.
we kind of already know what's gonna happen, but you gotta.
The second they walked
Say it,
out of
but
that
they
goddamn movie theater, I knew it was coming.
I can't argue with you, sister. You know why? Because my mother's name was also Martha.
Why'd you say that
Batman
name?
versus Superman.
No,
That's the
I
reason
know,
they
but
stopped
that
I
doing it.
understood, but I wasn't saying anything because
Okay.
I had no words to say.
Okay, so let's move on.
Love you,
We
buddy.
have, Blizzard was in the news since we.
Yeah, I think I'll let Brendan talk
So,
about this one.
Why
I have nothing to say.
Number one, fuck
I'm-
you, Blizzard.
they're
But no,
fucking stupid.
so the big
They're fucking
issue
stupid.
that has been plaguing everything, I can't remember the guy who was playing his name, but he won the Hearthstone tournament, said pro-Hong Kong statements, we're going to get hit by Chinese agents again, so...
The guy got canceled.
But yeah, no,
So
essentially he got
13
canceled,
something.
they did not let him get his winnings, they took away the win and everything all that.
Banned him.
And banned him, and then go out on stage to say, what we did was a rash action. The president of Blizzard goes out on stage saying, what we did was a rash action. And then he says that without them ever actually taking that action back. They didn't really do anything about it.
So, what kind of apology was that?
That was a not real apology. It was essentially saying we made a very heat of the moment decision, and we're not going to take that decision back.
I also want to remind you that they still have not removed the heavy additions they made that make it severely difficult to remove your Blizzard account.
Yes.
They're
Along with
asking for physical forms of your birth certificate, physical
What?
forms of your ID.
Are you serious?
We need a picture confirmation of your ID, confirmation of your last.
So we can
address.
send it to. So
I don't
we can
want to play
send it
fucking
to the CCP.
Overwatch
Yeah,
anymore.
no, also about tagging along with that.
It's easier to review
If you were
my
one of the
license.
people who were like, Blizzard is awful, I'm deleting my account, and then you go on the forums the next day and ask, How do I get my Blizzard account back? I want to play Overwatch 2. I don't like you. Along with that,
What a convenient drop of a sequel, like right after they.
Yeah. So here's another thing about you, Mr. President. You come out on that stage with an LGBT pin on your lapel. Now, I am all about that. I'm fine with it. But the only issue is you're doing that after taking away another person's right to make a political statement on your stage. And that is considered a political statement in many countries where that is not fucking allowed, including China, where they're kind of not really friendly to that. So, fuck you. And that's my rant.
That is
I think that's everyone's rant.
No, I 100%.
I 100% stand by.
I have been following this story for a
stopped
while and
playing
I'm
Overwatch.
pissed.
I just
never
find it
needed
funny
a reason
that
to get back into
I
it.
never bought
reason-
Overwatch to begin with. That's my
I never
favorite
needed
part
a
about
reason
it.
to not go back into Overwatch, but
I
now
played
I have
one
one,
free
so
week.
it's
I
great.
played one free weekend as McCree because I was like, this character was designed to appeal to me.
Yeah, no, exactly.
McCree's one of the best characters.
That's actually
Oh,
the reason
wow.
somebody told me to buy
A
the
cowboy with a robot arm.
game. That
Yep.
is literally the reason why I was told to buy the game. I was like, well, fuck, and that's why I bought it.
It's
Yeah.
I
I
love
never
it.
gave him an
Mercy.
animated short either.
Yeah, Overwatch was something I wanted.
In, what's her name's?
Overwatch was something I wanted to experiment in. Then they had the whole Hong Kong thing, and I was just like, all right, maybe not. But yeah, so Blizzard, you're something.
Moving on.
Next Diablo's gonna probably.
I wanted to make a point, but now I forget.
Good
But
enough.
anyway,
Schluter.
Free Hong Kong.
yeah,
Blizzard,
Free Hong
you
Kong.
bad people.
yeah. So
I know.
I might
BlizzCon's
not
gonna
be
be
allowed to go
interesting.
back
When is
ever again.
BlizzCon?
It already happened.
It already happened.
Oh,
There were lots of
I
people
wrote-
dressed up
yeah.
as Winnie the Pooh and carrying free Hong Kong signs. It was.
I put this in
fantastic.
like when it was relevant, and I was just kind of us reacting to it when the dust cleared.
Yeah.
At this point, that's why I left it in here because it's something that's
I
relevant.
mean, it's still relevant. We have to make it. And,
I think
you
it's
know,
something that we deserve to have a stance on being
Exactly.
having the gifts that we do have living
Yeah.
in this country. I think it's something we need to make a stand on. I'm
Yeah.
sorry if you don't agree with that, but
Oh no, I'm not. I completely stand by what you guys are saying. Yeah, I'm.
I think it's something
kind
that
of proud that you guys do.
it's something that
have this
Americans
opinion.
need to. And I hate to. I'll step off my soapbox after I make this one point. It's something that Americans take for granted that we do have these freedoms, and it's something that we do need to exert when we can and when we see fit.
And we need to hold companies responsible for trying to count out Xi Jinping.
That's not the kind of point I was trying to make, but I think we have rights and we should be able to use them, and the fact that we are able to use them is something that this gives us platform and power to do. That's really all I have to say about that. So, thanks.
Okay.
But
well,
moving on.
I've been saving
Moving
up
on.
that bread.
So another recent game that did come out was Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and boy, is this game pretty fucking polarizing.
Really,
Have
I
you
haven't heard
played-
much
Has
about
anyone
it.
played it?
They blamed an American. war,
I
they
stopped
blamed
playing.
an American war atrocity on the Russians in the game.
I
It only took two minutes, too.
so
wait,
I stopped playing. I played World at War, which was the newer one.
World at War.
Although the one that
Back in
the last World at War that came out.
World War II.
World War II. Okay.
Okay.
I played a little bit of it. I fell out of liking Call of Duty.
World War II
FPSs.
was not a very good game.
I like
I'm
Blaps
sorry.
2 and I like COD Blaps.
It was a very uninspired story. Basically, what I want to get to is Modern Warfare. Anything that I think Activision is the one behind this one. Treyarch's Black Ops. Anything Activision makes is generally good. This story was pretty good. I'm not going to go too far into it because I wasn't. Yeah, I'm not that passionate about it to where I really want to give my thoughts on it. Where I'm mostly followed, and you can tell by my hoodie, I'm a competitive COD fan. The multiplayer. And a lot of professional COD players have been very vocal about the multiplayer. And there's been patches made where it's not as bad now, but like at launch, the shotgun was very, very okay.
Was literally it.
I would use it, I'll be dead honest. I used it a lot as a secondary. I didn't use it all the time, but I used it to sweep.
Take
I
advantage
didn't
of
use
it,
it.
yeah.
Well, I didn't use it to camp. I used it to sweep, which is really good when you're going up stairways and everything. You know, where you know the camping points once you start to play the maps. So that worked out well for me. But also, it's very It's definitely the most competitive game since Black Ops 2. I think a lot of it's boots on the ground. It's the best kind of Call of Duty. Like you have all these OG COD players like Aches. You have Scump like. Well, not Nate Shot anymore, but like Clayster, Crimsix especially. Like these guys are all gonna like go ham this year, especially with basically the game team's getting broken up at this point to where since COD League got franchised, I'm kind of going to combine both of my topics about Call of Duty here on this one, if that's okay.
Go for it.
But with Call of Duty's new multiplayer, it's boots on the ground. It's what we saw in Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops. I think Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 might have. I forget that game so far in the past.
It's so good.
It was so good.
Oh,
But you get the
it's
classic.
the only time I played a
you
COD
get the
game
classic
more than Halo that released
exactly.
that year.
You get the classic boots on the ground that brought people over from Halo. It's classic stuff. You got your guys like Aches, who's captain of the LA Guerrillas. You got Crim6, captain of the I think he's captain of the Empire. Playing with Clayster, two of the best players. Clayster was by far one of the best players last year. In COD League.
For the story, one of the weird people.
Fair enough. But you guys got Scump going over. He left Optic for Energy, followed Hex to Energy. You got a lot of stuff going on. And I think one thing about it is franchising. You saw it with Overwatch. Overwatch franchised. It's got its own teams spread across the world. And you're seeing that now with COD. COD's got, I think, 10 teams? 10 teams spread across the world. You have 2 European teams. And you have, I think, 8 American teams, 2 of them being in LA. And, they already have the merch out. This one's a Seattle Surge shirt. Some of my favorite players are on it, that's why I picked it. And I have a Minnesota Rocker t-shirt. It's pretty good. But one of the things I like is that you guys, now this gives players the opportunities to step out from the generic teams and they get to play for a city. The kind of esports that COD was, it really wasn't like a player, like a team that kept their players for long. You kind of just moved from team to team. And now this kind of gives you more of a reason to stay with one team for a while and kind of build a dynasty, which I think is pretty cool because these guys will have the chance to build more and more through learning from young guns that come up through the game.
Yep.
And they get to stay on the same team and kind of mentor other people. And the more these guys are mentoring kids for the better of the sport, the esport, the more competitive of Call of Duty you're going to see over time. So I think that's what's really good about COD League. But a lot of people are hating it because it's a different thing. It's the first year it's been done in Call of Duty, and a lot of people are getting weirded out by it because they don't get to play for the generic esports team anymore. It's kind of like an esports organization is backing a region team.
Yeah.
And that's what's really weird about that.
Yeah, esports is going to be really going into 2020 is going to be an interesting decade when it comes to esports, since it's going to become. They're expecting
Bigger and
esports
bigger.
to be in the billions.
I just hope I get to see
financially.
more fighting games on ESPN.
That'd
That
be
was my
awesome.
that was my favorite thing ever.
Well, you get them for free.
I know, but getting to see it for the first time ever on ESPN2, Evo, going on was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then you had that old guy tweeting about it who was like, "Wow, these are actually really cool. These
Yeah.
guys are skilled."
Yeah, so
Esports are definitely sports. I think anybody who plays a video game competitively deserves to be treated like an athlete. Just the same argument goes for a NASCAR driver. These guys push their bodies to the limits, just like a regular athlete does. Sure, they might not have to run, jump, swim, kick a ball or anything, but they're pushing their body to the absolute limit. And a lot of what sports are is using the body and mind to what you can push it to physically do to achieve a common goal. And that's what you're doing in Call of Duty. That's what you do in a sport like NASCAR.
yeah, so like I said, esports could be growing dramatically in the next. I think by 2021 they said it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry. And we're seeing the effects locally. Philadelphia is building a esports arena.
They
I
had
think
the
it'd be
Overwatch.
really
They had the
cool.
Overwatch tournament a while back.
Yeah, and I think it'd be really cool if we did something about the esports arena. If we ever go over there and
Yeah.
see some
Yeah.
sort of competition that happens.
I can talk
Hopefully
about.
COD League, hopefully Philadelphia gets some COD League team soon.
I might talk
Pretty
about. I'm going to PAX Unplugged in 2 or 3 weeks, so I'll talk about that whenever.
So it'll be PAX Unplugged and then Brendan's segment, Brendan Plugged.
Haha.
Hero.
Anyway,
Pegging jokes?
But yeah, I
Ugh.
think that's all I really have to say. Modern Warfare multiplayer, pretty good, enjoyable. Call of Duty, classic Call of Duty. The COD League, definitely a bigger thing to be on the lookout because of it.
Can I honestly ask if you played the campaign?
Me?
Yeah.
Played a little bit of it, not much. I'm not really a COD campaign guy. I've really
You're
heard
the
it
campaign
was
guy,
good.
you're a multiplayer guy. It doesn't seem to be a mix.
Yeah, I'm literally a campaign
I'm
guy.
a campaign guy. But don't worry, Mike. They blamed war crimes on Russians, so it's a good campaign.
I'll play the campaign to get the achievements and the calling cards.
Once you do, let me know.
And Captain Price makes an appearance.
Oh yeah, I figured.
So I thought it was funny how Activision made this one, right?
Yes, Activision Blizzard.
They
Oh boy.
they made a statement there saying, well, this new Modern Warfare is going to be modernized, it's going to be updated, it's going to be an updated situation and whatever, updated political climate, and literally the game initially takes place in the Middle East, and the Russians are the bad guys. And it's like,
Has that really ever changed?
I mean,
since the
has that
60s?
really, have we
Has it
ever
really
stopped
changed?
blaming the Russians?
Yeah. But, interesting stuff. That's
Russians
all.
are always the bad guys.
Yeah.
They always will be.
You are
Well,
the,
for now.
you are the
Now,
scariest variety of white people.
Old shit with a nuclear.
They are
tank.
scary. I'm terrified of Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, don't black bag
Personally.
us. We're going to be black bagged by two different
Two different
countries.
I'm getting
communist
weird.
nations.
I'm getting like Putin at notukraine.com telling me to shut down these.
Vladimir Putin's
Shut
burner
it
account. His burner.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All right, so to move on,
Is it
Brendan played some Death Stranding.
Yeah, time for Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus. So that game, this game, what the opening statement I will make about this. Feel free to ask questions during when I'm talking about it. This is a walking simulator made by a person who heard the term walking simulator and did not actually know what a walking simulator was and thought that it was all about simulating walking and movement. So the game, the setup, I don't know, I'm not too far in yet, and this is Kojima, so I'm not completely sure on everything in the story. What's up first?
So, real quick.
Who's the funky?
What is Kojima calling this game?
He is calling it
Strandborn
in terms of genre. He is calling it
The first
new form of the
Stranding?
Strand genre.
Strand genre. Okay.
The genre will be with itself, and it will be called Cowboy Bebop.
So like the whole thing is this game does have some of those Dark Souls kind of mechanic things where people doing stuff in their games somewhat affects your game. So like for example, even during the first few missions, like one of the big things is movement. As I've said, it's like a walking simulator. So when you're carrying things around, sometimes you will have to balance yourself. Sometimes you will have to. You have a weight limit, so like sometimes you have to worry about that when you're up on higher peaks, not falling and losing all of your shit. So yeah, no,
I've seen amazing videos where people have like stat like 5 times their height and are walking across a bridge and trip, but they're fine, but all their shit goes up.
There is ways to engage in combat where you drop boxes on people, but I haven't really encountered combat yet. All I've encountered is sneaking sections where you have to sneak past things you're not able to see. But it's so fun. But the big thing is like you'll leave behind rappel kits or you'll leave behind ladders for people to reach new heights that they need to get up, and for one you like them. So the entire government in this game is based on a system of Facebook likes, essentially. Whoever gets the most likes tends to be in charge.
So
I'm not even kidding about
it's like
this
Black
statement.
Mirror. They did
Kind of.
Or China. We're back
Yeah.
to China
Or
now.
that
So-
episode of The Immortal.
But yeah, like for example, when you like when you get likes, the more likes that you get, like the better your character can become
Is
effectively.
that the
like,
term
doing missions.
in the game? Is
Likes.
likes?
Yes, it is likes. It is a thumbs up icon next to here's the likes. So when you complete jobs, you get likes.
That's pretty cool.
Someone made the joke that Death Stranding is what Philip J. Fry envisions his job really is.
Kind of. You do play as UPS man. Any game where you play as a courier is a good game by default.
So
as
what is your
Fallout
role?
New Vegas is also told.
What is your role in Death Stranding?
You play as Sam Porter Bridges.
That's such a stupid. I'm sorry.
His
No,
name-
it does
he
not.
is a
Sam
porter,
Porter Bridges.
and he worked for Bridges, so his name is
I-
Sam
I-
Porter
dude.
Bridges. I know how to summarize what Kojima does. So, if you have ever watched Guy Maringhei's Dark Place, there is a quote where one character says,
What?
"I know other writers who use subtext, and they're all cowards." What I can only say is that Kojima, when he tells a story, he uses what you can call dom text. Yeah, he absolutely uses what I can only coin as dom text. So
Sam Porter
he
Bridges.
when he attaches to a theme, he cannot let go of that theme. The big theme of this game is stranding. So you'll leave behind strands for people to get up. In fact, your rope kit that you get is actually infused with your blood as an idea of the connection to other people, sort of.
Okay.
That
But
must hurt, but alright.
It's weird, but like the ideas like the president's name in the game is Bridget Strand. Bridge Strand. Now, but yeah, no. So this game essentially, like, to summarize gameplay, because I haven't really gotten into that yet. Essentially, it is, as I said, a walking sim. You are the main thing that you do in this game is you carry packages to other places. You are trying to essentially reconnect the United States that still exists. Some event happened called the Death Stranding at some point, and essentially it creates a situation where the dead are sort of coming back in the form of these things you call BTs. Where BTs, they're invisible to pretty much anybody, except some people can detect them, some people can see them, but most people can only just detect if, at the most, like, your character starts to get like allergies when they're around. But BTs, there will be segments with them where you have to sneak around them, and I have not experienced being attacked by a BT yet because I play stealth games. So, like, I haven't been attacked by one yet. And the one really inconvenient thing is that there's a button when you click the not the shared media button, when you click the pad on the PS4 controller, Sam yells.
I've seen this. I've seen
And so
these
there was
bloopers.
one point during a BT encounter where I was a little bit further away from the BTs, like I'd finally gotten away, and I accidentally clicked that attempting to like something, because when you go up to like strands and bridges, you can actually click your start button really rapidly to like things.
It's such an interesting game mechanic.
It really is. But I accidentally yelled, and you just have Sam like, anybody out there? And then suddenly my thing flies back up, and it's like, and like they're getting closer.
I've seen. I wish I saved it because I would have posted it on the page, because it's the same thing where it's just like, it's literally just like stealthy hello, and then there's just 40 things.
And so essentially everybody's wondering.
She goes off, and he's just like.
Everybody's wondering about the baby, what the baby is, what BB is. His name is literally BB. The actual term for it is bridge baby. But you hook into the baby, and the baby essentially allows for you to detect BTs while you're out there. So the baby will start to like be able to see them, and it hooks into that little thing that comes up on
Starts to goo-goo.
Yeah, and it goes when they're nearby.
So the baby is a tool.
The baby is essentially a tool.
Is it slave
But
labor?
how is it-
So the baby, what it actually is there are these things called still mothers. That sounds exactly like what you think it
Yeah.
is. So the babies are specifically made to be stillborn because that's the area between life and death.
Ah.
And
Okay, I
BTs
see
and
that.
BTs are dead that are brought back into the world of the
Very
living.
morbid, but it's very congenial.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's essentially what the function of the baby is.
So you're not trying to save the baby the whole time.
You're not trying to save the baby. The
That's
baby.
interesting.
Yeah, but it is still Norman Reedus and the funky fetus.
Yeah, no, it is still that.
It's a funky fetus, not
it
the
helps
funky
you.
fetus.
But the other thing is, so when you do die, apparently there are these things called void outs, which are essentially, there's a group called Homo Demons. That's
like
referring
a mix between Homo sapien and a
that's
demon?
referring to Homo sapien, but
That's what I
Homo
thought.
Demons.
I wouldn't have laughed if you didn't pause. And I
Yeah,
hate
no.
you for it.
So that's a term. Yeah, and it sounds just as funny as you think it is when you're listening to
I thought you were
cutscenes.
about to say like.
But they're a
Jack.
terrorist group who try to cause void outs. And essentially what happens during void outs is when somebody dies, if you don't take care of a corpse and burn it, it's a possibility that there will essentially just be a huge, like, annihilating explosion that'll just take out land. Now, the reason that Sam's able to survive void outs is he's what you call a repatriate. So he's able to die and come back. And so that's how he's able to survive. And so
He has experience
when you
with
do
all
die, according to as far as I know, when you die, it essentially comes down to you have to find a way to get back to your body, and then you come back to life.
That's interesting.
But you'll lose something along the way. I forget. Trying to think of other stuff, but yeah. So strands are the big theme. Like he always, even in the Metal Gear Solid games, he always had the theme of what was it? Gene, scene, and meme. Which he used the term meme before it became the term for online stuff.
What does meme mean to?
So meme was defined by Richard Dawkins in one of his books as an idea of the DNA of culture. So it's the stuff that spreads between us in culture, the DNA of the soul. But as
I do
Monster
like it how
once
you
said.
said you haven't really gotten into gameplay. How many? And because it's a Kojima game, how many hours have you played so far?
I've only been in around 2 or 3 hours. So
Oh,
far.
okay. I would have you expected you to say like, hey, yeah, I've been playing for like 9 or 10 hours.
But
I haven't really gotten into the gameplay
apparently there's more gameplay once you hit 4, 8, 10 hours or something into the game.
God
There's
damn
all
it.
sorts of more.
I heard it becomes like
I haven't
severe-
had combat yet.
I was gonna say, it's like I
I
heard it
cannot wait to
becomes.
play it.
What?
I heard it becomes like a hybrid third-person
There
shooter at some point.
is some combat stuff. Like your gun is not, as far as I know, the gun that you eventually get is not like a shoot bullets gun. It shoots bolas. So you're like wrapping people up, like bolas.
No, bolas.
The thing that you
I
throw
thought it
around
was like
people's-
another imaginary
No, the thing that you throw around people's legs.
Yeah,
That-
bolas.
that old tool.
Bolo.
And along with that, I know to fight BTs, you eventually can use your piss,
Yeah,
and shit,
there's a
and
peeing
blood to make
mechanic,
grenades. And you can actually piss on them if you want to fight them.
Yeah, I've seen
Because
it.
there is a mechanic to go pee in the game.
So, knowing all of that, did you know all that before you bought the game?
No.
Most of that I did not. I've only absorbed it from other friends playing it.
If you knew that, would you still have bought the game?
Oh, hell yeah. It's a Kojima game. Yes, I'd buy it.
No, that's exactly what. It's just like, I do not know what it is. I don't know what the mechanic is.
It's
If
Hideo
I was-
Kojima.
I know Kojima fans will instantly buy the game. I'm buying it when it comes on
The
sale.
last
Even if I
cutscene-
didn't know anything,
The
I would
last
still buy the
cutscene
game.
is apparently 2 hours long.
What?
The last cutscene in the game is 2 hours long.
Because this is a big
This is
fuck
beating-
you to Konami. That's just like, fuck you.
This is beating the previous record of Kojima cutscenes, which was the finale of Metal Gear Solid 4 being 45 minutes long. To the point where people can't play it on Twitch because if you stop touching your controller for long enough, they'll start to ban you. So, like, you can't actually show the last cutscene of that game in
Yeah,
total.
you can't.
Alright, well,
So it's like a full-length feature film?
This is way more than I don't know how long people have been playing, but like
That's
I'm-
actually
I'm gonna-
very
I'm gonna play-
impressive.
And he's
Not gonna lie.
got all his friends in here. So Norman Reedus is of course the main character of the game. There is the model of Guillermo del Toro. He's one of the first people you meet.
Mhm.
He goes by the name of Deadman.
I'm thinking he's a bad guy.
No, he was just a guy who works with he was just a guy who worked in a morgue, and so he in this world where things are coming back from the dead, he's
not
important.
really good at his
You also
job.
have Die Hard Man. Die Hard Man is a repatriate like you, which means he dies hard.
alright, well, to start wrapping this up, because we got to start
Yeah.
wrapping up the
Yeah.
program.
Do you mind if I do like 5 minutes?
Yeah, well, so final thoughts about,
I can't wait to play more of it. I will report as soon as I know more about this game.
yeah.
I can't wait to meet Heartman.
I think you convinced me in buying it, so I'll probably...
Yeah, no, I'm definitely getting it.
It's a mystery and enigma.
I, however, am not going to buy this game. I'm sorry. Just not. I am.
So that's just not your game type. I
Exactly.
don't blame you for
I
that.
think the creator of, for one last thought, the creator of Ghost in the Shell talked a lot about this game. And he's like, for one, most people can identify with combat. And that is the number one thing that they can identify with as a gameplay mechanic. But to do something different than that is important. And that's essentially what he saw Kojima mostly doing, is not going for straight up combat, at least for most of the game.
That's
Yeah.
basically how most video games are formed. That was via combat or puzzle solving.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two. So it's interesting to see a new hybrid.
Alright. Okay, so just to start wrapping up here, so I know you guys have some comic recommendations. Can you do it in a...
Can I do
I
that?
have 3 big comics that came out this week to recommend.
Alright, rapid
If you
fire.
have not been watching, or if you have not been reading Jimmy Olsen by Matt Fraction, you are a fool, and I don't like you.
You
No,
put
but
in Gilbert Gottfried saying,
but
"You're a fool!"
but there is literally this issue. You get to see Batman apparently have Alfred. Apparently Alfred has been paying people off to laugh at his jokes for years, which is fantastic. And the last issue before that, you find out the mayor of Metropolis is in fact a T-Rex. Along with that, the other one that I'll recommend that came out this week was The Question, The Death of Vic Sage, or The Many Deaths of Vic Sage. And if you are a fan of The Question, go buy this book. It has a fantastic team of Jeff Lemire as well as who is it? Bill Sienkiewicz.
Jeff Lemire. He had that one horror book that was really good.
Jeff Lemire does a ton of good books. He does Black Hammer as well. He did one of my favorite runs of
Assuming
Hawkeye.
the third one's Gwenpool.
The third one is Gwenpool this week. Yeah, no, the new issue of Gwenpool was fantastic. Go read Gwenpool Strikes Back. The only other two that I have to really recommend are Strange Skies Over East Berlin. It's being put out by Boom Comics right now. It is all about an alien encounter in communist-occupied Berlin.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. If you like XCOM, you'll be an immediate fan of this. It's getting real trippy. And the other thing I can recommend is Leia Williams is also right now doing The Amazing Mary Jane, which it's all about Mary Jane trying to go out and film a movie that's apparently being directed by Quentin Beck.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Alright, so real quick. Played The Outer Worlds. This is going to be my rapid fire Rager Monty's classic Cowboy Corral review of The Outer
You did
Worlds.
it.
He insults
Fucking-
you for being dumb.
So I will say this. The Outer Worlds, I don't care what people say about it. I don't care if they say, oh, it's glitchy, it's this, it's that. It's not really
It's New
canon.
Vegas
I
2.
thought he was
It
going
is-
to go off on it.
It's
It
New
is-
Vegas 2, ain't it?
It is New Vegas 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I need
and
to
it
play
is-
it.
And if you ever played New Vegas and remotely liked it, this is the game for you. It is literally going back into an old memory and just it's great.
I can play as a stupid
It's this
person
warm,
and have
fuzzy
misspelled
feeling.
Did you see some
responses.
guy speed ran it in 15 minutes?
Oh yeah,
Holy
it's
shit.
fucking hilarious. You could easily speed run
They were
that game.
looking at watching it, like the producers, and they were like, "This guy's a fucking idiot. This guy's fucking jackass. Like he beat our game in 15 minutes. There's so much you can do, and you beat our game in 15 fucking
Yeah,
minutes."
because the guy literally beat the game in 15 minutes, and then they were just like, "Okay, that's it." Like it's just like that's not the point of the game.
Yeah.
But everybody, it's the same thing as like
Good for
speedrunning
them.
Fallout. You can do it in a minute, but that's not the point of the game.
Yeah. Continue. I'm sorry.
No, that's it. That was because I had to do it really quick. It was amazing.
So you
it was
like it?
beautiful. It
You
was
like it?
like it was like taking a trip down memory
Is it
lane.
like everything that they would talk about? Like, is it like Star Wars meets Fallout?
It's like Firefly.
No, it's like
No,
New
I thought
Vegas.
it was
It's like
Firefly.
It's like New Vegas had a baby with New Vegas and Josh Whedon had a baby, and it was Firefly. And then Firefly had another baby with a space
And you have a
western,
bunch
and
of
then that was the
short-haired
Outworlds.
lesbians who call you chief.
Are there laser swords in the game?
Yes, technically.
Okay. What makes that technical?
It's a Sith that glows bright red.
Only bright red? No variation in color?
No.
Interesting.
Just trying to ask the questions that just.
They also got
Yeah.
I feel like it's
they're
a big
glowing
part of what
bats
we
that
do.
you can beat the shit out of people with. So
I've realized over that we don't ask enough questions. We kind of just put our own input. I kind of like to ask
We
some
have
questions
questions.
about this. Yeah.
All right. So you like the game?
yeah, no, loved it.
Alright.
Next time I'll do the Sinking City. I know that was cut on episode 12. I've been playing a little bit more. It's a Lovecraftian beauty, but I want to dwell into that too. Hopefully, I'll get more segment time that I can dive into
course.
these games deeper.
Yeah, we had to cut short a little bit this episode.
It also
but,
sucks because episode 12 I really gave like a lot of good detail.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, we
You
also
really
talked about
did.
Crusader Kings.
Fuck you, China. Really.
No, we had technical issues, and it happens.
No.
Let me
That's
China.
that's just
Wait,
just the way the industry is. I
It's
guess.
not on our
it's
end.
the
It's
C-word.
China's fault.
All right, so
Clinton.
that is this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I have some things that I'm doing in the background that I'm trying to get together. That are
Shout out to
in
Indy
stages.
saying her goodbyes in the
Yes, we
background.
have a dog in the house, so it's barking.
Shout out to Indiana.
But remember to share and if you could donate to our GoFundMe for Phil Abundance. We would really appreciate it.
Share, like, subscribe.
Yeah, and make sure to follow us on our socials. We're at the Choose a Character Podcast on Facebook.
And even though you don't know it's me, share my posts more.
and we
Not
are
theirs, mine.
we are C_Y_podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and we still have a Twitch out there in case you guys would want. We haven't been on there for a while. Go ahead, Brandon.
I have one more thing because I did promise a certain comic writer that I would shout him out. Please pre-order Hawkeye Freefall, coming out January 1st to your local comic store, written by
Wait, did
Matthew
he-
Rosenberg
Wait, did he
and
shout
Otto
out to
Schmidt.
you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I told
shit.
him I would. I told him I would.
Oh,
He
cool.
really reached out to you?
Yeah,
about
well,
that?
I talked to him, but I just told him that I was going to shout this out on the episode. He was like, "Yes, please, thank you."
Awesome.
But yeah,
We got
but
our
yeah,
first-
written.
We have our
Hey,
first
no,
fan.
this is where you talk. Like I had the guy who draws Jimmy Olsen like in some of my tweets today.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, go pre-order Hawkeye Freefall.
Wow.
In stores January 1st. Written by Matthew Rosenberg. He did Punisher. He did Tales of Suspense with Hawkeye and Winter Soldier, and also drawn by Otto Schmidt.
All right.
Kate
Well,
will make an appearance.
thanks for joining us. Do we have anything else to say?
I'm Mungi.
Okay. Well, I'm Marcucci.
I am Cowboy.
I'm an alien.
I don't know.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Goodbye.